It is my honor to introduce our second speaker for today, Dr. Cliff Poodry. Dr. Poodry is a courtesy professor and instructor in biology at the University of Oregon. He is also an emeritus professor at the University of California in Santa Cruz. Dr. Poodry was also the director of the Minority Opportunities in Research Division at NIGMS, National Institutes of Health, for 20 years and has served 2 terms on the SACNAS board. He has contributed so much to SACNAS over the years, the organization has recognized his work and named the Lytton Poodry SACNAS Leadership Institute, LPSLI, in his honor. At this time, I am happy to introduce Dr. Cliff Poodry.
Thank you for that introduction. It's a pleasure and an honor to speak to this group. Though I must say, following this last panel is a tough act to follow. That was a terrific group discussion. I enjoyed that very much. I'm speaking to you from the lands of the Kalapuya tribe in Western Oregon. I want to, before I begin, thank Daryl and the SACNAS staff for their work in pulling off this terrific event. I'd also like to mention Hailani and thank her for her numerous contributions in education and in inclusion, and also her many contributions to SACNAS. The student panelists today, I think, have just provided some very thoughtful discussions. So I'm really pleased and thankful to have their participation. I hope you enjoyed as much as I did the inspirational and informational talk and discussion by Dr. Jennings. I aspire to be as athletic as a runner, but those days are gone for me. But I really enjoyed her talk, things that motivate her, and the lessons that she gave us. In her talk and in the discussion, she mentioned the issue of identity. I'd like to build on that. I'd like to build on that and think more about the aspects of identity and how we see ourselves. So who are you? How do you describe yourself? And for that identity, are there traits, behaviors, or values that go along with that identity? Importantly, what's the source of that identity of who we are? Is our identity established by the government? In terms of the names of our tribes, or by community recognition? Does our identity come from our parents, our extended family, from the communities where we grow up? My tribe is matrilineal. Nandawaga Ne Wagedon Haudenosaunee. I'm a member of the Seneca tribe, which is part of the Iroquois Confederacy. I'm a Tonawanda Seneca because my mother was a Tonawanda Seneca, because her mother was a Tonawanda Seneca, etc. We're matrilineal. So our identity with regard to tribe is passed down through the maternal line. But that's just the identity from the name of the tribe. I think we would agree that our identities are connected to a long history of traditions and behaviors and values. Our identity connects to the values of our families. Those values often include a love and respect for Mother Earth, a connection and a commitment to each other, to one another. Our identities are often connected and really bound together in our language. And I'm sure that each of you can probably think of other shared values that you have with your family and with your communities. It troubles me when our identity is determined not by ourselves, but by others and the way that they describe us. Consider the derogatory names, the stereotypes, reflected the biases of non-natives that they had of Indigenous communities. It troubles me when otherwise thoughtful people revert to stereotypes in describing us. Even today, for example, I hear faculty explaining the low representation of Native students by stereotypes. One of the most common things they say is, well, you know, Natives don't want to leave home. So, you know, I ask, well, why would faculty, why would they think that? And, you know, why would the recruiters say that? As it turns out, their answer is, well, that's what the students told us. That's what they told us. They didn't want to leave home. I wondered about that. And I wondered whether that was on behalf of the students actually being polite. You know, it seems nicer to say that, you know, I don't want to leave home. I want to stay close to my family, than to say, you know, I really don't want to come to your institution, or something like that. Let's think about what do we know about people that do leave home? So you could consider the smoke jumpers that go work all over the country for months out of the year during fire season. And certainly our people have been overrepresented in the military. That is, they've taken up that duty and gone, you know, to stations around the country as well into foreign lands and putting themselves in harm's way. If you remember, the first casualty in the Iraq War was a woman, a Native woman, a Hopi woman, and she was a single mother. As that, my conclusion from that is that we will leave home. Natives will leave home if the cause is compelling and the opportunity is right. So for me, it's up to either universities and colleges or other institutions to make that opportunity compelling and right, as opposed to identifying us, labeling us as in a particular way, saying that, well, you know, natives just don't want to leave home. Slightly different twist. Have you ever heard someone say something like, you know, I am who I am, take it or leave it? Have you ever felt that way? I am who I am, take it or leave it. You know, that sounds kind of defensive, doesn't it? I am who I am, and I'm proud of it. Well, that sounds a bit better, but still, to me, that's responding a little bit to the judgment of others. The posture of the I am who I am shares a feature with the biases and stereotypes expressed by others, in that it is an expression of what is called a fixed mindset, which is distinguished from a growth mindset. We don't have time to go into the fascinating research on the topic, but I will say a couple of things about it. A big problem with having a fixed mindset is that if you don't succeed at something, you feel that lack of success defines you. You didn't succeed, so you're a failure. An alternative perspective, an important one, is a growth mindset. And in that notion is that, yes, you are who you are, but you can grow, you can develop, you can get better. You can learn from experience, you can learn from mistakes. Cadell mentions how his mentor helped him and helped him grow. I like that. I like the notion that you know, our mentors are not trying to change us, but in fact they're wanting to help us along our path to continue to grow. Lack of success then is just in the moment. Lack of success is temporary. It's not a lifelong label. Moreover, failures needn't be feared because they're opportunities to learn. And so, you know, there are many of you who are adventuresome, are willing to take on challenges, and know that, in fact, if you stumble, well, you learn why you stumble, and that becomes an opportunity to grow. How do I share a screen? Up there, it popped up, I think. Hope that popped up for you. So what are signs that you have a fixed mindset?
Dr. Poodry, I did not share.
Did not share. What do I
Yeah.
have?
So at the bottom of your video, there should be a share screen. Yeah, a green button. And then you should be able to hit that, and then it'll bring up different windows. There you go.
There I go. Okay. Students, I'm new at this. The whole virtual experience in teaching has been a challenge, but bear with me. So what are signs that you have a fixed mindset? As you can see a list here, you believe that abilities, intelligence, and traits are predetermined, that you can't change them. And many people talk about success, coming from natural talent. Sometimes you worry about not being seen as intelligent or afraid of saying the wrong things. You feel threatened and somehow behind when you see the success of others. Challenges or difficult situations are something to avoid, right? You don't want to push yourself too much because you might not want to risk the failure. Obstacles have a tendency to stop you from achieving. You find them difficult to overcome. And you might even use those obstacles as an explanation, a reason to stop doing what you're doing, even if you enjoy doing it. An important one for students, particularly as you go along, become graduate students and postdocs, has to do with the kind of criticism, the feedback that we get as we go along. Constructive feedback, sometimes even negative feedback, it doesn't always feel good. But if you have a fixed mindset, it's even more crushing. It's something that you really want to avoid. On the other hand, if you have a growth mindset, you believe that you can change and develop by putting the effort. Effort trumps, native ability. You can become better. Intelligence and success increase when you put them to work. You practice. You work harder at it, and you get better. You have a growth mindset if you're open to asking questions and learning from others, even when that means admitting that you don't know everything. That's hard for some of us seniors, especially those of us that are teachers. We want to sound like we know things. So it's one of the challenges is make sure we continue learning from others, even when it means admitting not knowing something. You also, the success of others is something that motivates and inspires you. You can learn from the success of others. If you have a fixed mindset, that you're often in competition, and when others are successful, you feel that you're not. When you have a growth mindset, you actually can be happy with the success of others. You're more likely to take risks, challenges. From the speakers today, that was terrific. The things that they were willing to work on, to in some cases go out on a limb. I liked the fact that they were able to follow their curiosity and to learn, live a life. You consider criticism to being a learning opportunity. So that feedback, that kind of criticism that we get as we become professionals, rather than seeing that as just the worst thing that can happen, actually thinking about how it's a positive, because it will, in fact, make us better. How do I unshare?
There should be a stop sharing at the top. There you go.
Stop sharing. Okay, yep. Did I do it?
Get it.
Okay.
You did it.
So you can be proud of who you are. If you have a growth mindset, you can be proud of who you are, where you come from, and just remember that you're still on your journey to who you will be. For example, I am who I am, which is still a work in progress. Wait till you see version 78.5. I've got a lot of versions yet to go. Today, I've just been delighted to see such a fine group of up-and-coming Native professionals. I consider that identity for myself as something that I would be proud to continue to be associated. I wish the students and the others in the audience every success. We might not be there yet, but we're well on our way. Key advantage for all of us will face the future with a positive growth mindset. When others hang their heads, and because something didn't go as planned, we can stand tall and learn from our mistakes. Thank you very much for the opportunity to offer a few comments, and thank you very much for a wonderful day of seeing such a promising group of young people.